What would you do if your company increased its bottom line performance by 20 to 30%? Run the numbers in your head right now and figure out what that actually totals to. Stick around if you want to learn easy tips and tricks that you can implement right now in your growing business that will unlock 20 to 30% bottom line performance while simultaneously creating a less painful experience for yourself as the owner. In case you didn't know, my name is Jody. I have been formerly chief operating officer 3 times, twice at the group level, and I've seen about 50 or so companies over the last 12 to 13 years. And what I mean by seeing companies, I mean like working deep in the weeds with these companies, right? The operational architecture, the nitty-gritty details of day-to-day management. I've seen all sorts of operations. And right now, I have 3 of my own profitable, headache-free businesses that send me cash flow every month. And that's the reason why I wanted to share this video. I wanted to share the absolute best operational tips and tricks that you can implement right now in your business that I can guarantee increases the performance of your business operations. If you implement these things, it allows you as the founder to run the operations at the vision level rather than dealing with all the constant daily management crap that you might be facing right now. Because who likes to deal with daily management crap? No one. I've asked. Only me. Okay, a little warning before I actually get into these line items. The video is kind of boring. This is like so anti what I've learned on how to make YouTube videos. So go ahead and just share this video to whoever is your operator. This could be the general manager, it could be your department head, your chief operating officer, your managing director. Just forward this video and let them watch this and execute it, okay? Because you don't wanna be doing this stuff. I know, I've asked. Okay, point number 1, audit expenditures. All right, go line by line through the company's expenses, cancel any unused subscriptions, consolidate all the overlapping tools, you probably have a few, and trim any of the waste. Okay, think of it as spring cleaning. When you have a company or when you have a house and you have kids and what have you, or maybe you don't have kids, it doesn't matter, you're too busy to have kids. When you have a house, you buy stuff, right, eventually, right? You're not a Zen master, you're a normal human being, and eventually your house gets a little bit cluttered. You wanna come in and clean out the clutter, because what happens when you don't clean it out? Mold, rats, right? It just looks bad, it looks dirty. So same thing with your company. Go through the financial statements with your team. Go through each part of the departments. Ask the department heads, are you still using this tool? Are you sure? Which staff is still using which tool? And you'd be surprised at how many tools we have that the company doesn't actually use. A tool that a certain employee used many years ago that was essential for his work might not even be used now, right? And you're just paying for it. It seems obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many founders just can't be bothered doing spring cleaning in their business. So let's start with auditing the expenses and trimming the fat. Very important. That alone, I have seen myself personally unlock 5 to 7% in operating profit. So it's just an easy, quick win for the company to unlock bottom line performance. Start with that. Second line item is employee review system. So I hope that and all the founders, my ICP, I hope you're not watching this. You just give this to your operator, which is good stuff. If you haven't done so already, set up a consistent review cycle, including incentive plans, in order to maintain, retain, and push the performance of each individual employee. A review cycle every quarter, I prefer every quarter, or every year is fine, but I would prefer to do it every quarter, or maybe even on a monthly basis, is to make sure that you set up the goals on each individual level and make sure that they're hitting it. If they're not hitting it, what happens? Okay? What happens if an employee consistently doesn't hit their goals? Yes, that guy too. Your friend, the one that you know from years and years ago, who's your yeah, that person as well, right? It's been 6 months now that the person hasn't delivered. It's black and white. We agreed. You're not hitting your milestones, you know? It needs to be clearly articulated to that person, and it needs to be clearly written down in contract what happens if they don't reach their goals. And so we just bring all the pressure out and put it back into the business fundamentals, right? If the person doesn't hit their goals, they should get fired within X amount of X period, right? So you don't have to take this burden of holding on all this emotional weight. You just default back to the agreement. Hey, we already agreed. If you don't hit your milestone after month 3, you're gone. You were the one that agreed to this, right? So you don't have to put all this pressure and have all this sleepless nights because you both agreed. Two parties have agreed to this contractual obligation, and it keeps the company going and everyone focused on the goal and the objective and the KPIs that have been set. Okay, number 3, workflow documentation. Oh my god, if you're my ICP, you should not be watching this. Don't watch this. Forward this to your ops people, okay? Get your team to document how things actually get done. I use Miro, other people use Canva or Figma. Whatever it is that you use, document each process step by step. At least the consistent processes that happen in your business. Let's just start with naming a few. Invoicing. Yeah. Yeah. Even invoicing. You think you know your invoicing? Cool, then document it. Hiring. Hiring is one of them because you're going to hire many people in your organization if you scale up. Document the way you hire, right? Firing. Yeah, that's right. Every every process that should be consistent should be documented. So the firing process, your reporting process. How does your accounting team issue reports to you or the executive members of the team? Sales is another one, right? How do you onboard customers? How do you find customers? Document that process. How does sales hand over a lead to the operations team? How do you fulfill on that? If you're selling products and services, what's your inventory management process? If you don't have an inventory management process and you're selling products, I can already tell you you're fucked. So fix this stuff, document it, and understand how your system works right now. Because once an employee leaves, you hire their replacement, they already know what to do, right? You can just go through the documents. Hopefully, there's a Loom video that you've recorded to go through the Miro or whatever workflow board you're using so that they know what to do and do it well. You'll pay for this later. If you don't document your stuff, you're going to pay for this later. When the employee leaves and you didn't extract all that value that's in their head, all that company IP down and document it, when you hire the replacement, you got to retrain them again. It's so painful. And I've seen star players leave, the replacement comes. 2 months later, they realize the replacement is nowhere near as good as the star player, and then they gotta replace the replacement. Oh, man, all this pain, so much unnecessary pain, all because you didn't go and do the documentation process. So don't skip this part, okay? So once you've already documented everything, slowly start to upgrade the processes. This is the hard part. Go through each process. Hopefully, it's the operator here watching. Go through each part of the process and understand what can be optimized. Look for removing redundancy, right? Can you add a review system, a quality assurance system, a quality control system mechanism that allows you to reduce the redundancy later down in the workflow process? Can you shorten the workflow? Can you automate it using Zapier? Whatever it is, you have to start with documentation and then process upgrade later. By the way, this is exactly what we do at RunOps. It's called Workflow Rewire. There's the link in the description if you can't be bothered with doing any of this stuff, okay? The next item is this is probably so boring for my ICP. The next item is backup system. We do monthly backups of all of our systems. We actually export all of our files into a CSV or an XLS file. We download it and save it on a physical hard disk that is stored in a physical safe, right? So all of our key pieces of data, so our CRM is downloaded, our financial statements are downloaded, our chart of accounts, like all the financial history, any important contact lists that's on our WhatsApp. So I'm thinking about this food trading business that I have. We download all of these essential company files, all the history, all the boring stuff. We save it on a physical hard drive and we put it in a physical safe um in our office. We also do the same. We have a double backup system where we save it in the managing director's cloud. Why do we do this? We do this because sometimes employees go rogue. Sometimes equipment breaks. Whatever is the reason, I don't care what the reason is. I just want shit to work. There's so many reasons why you should do this. We just do it. Employees will leave. Equipment will break. Subscriptions will not get renewed. Cash flow is a problem and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Download the files, store them in a secure location. If something goes awry, we can extract this information and boom, we start from where the point where we left off. Okay. So it's just easier. It just takes us about half an hour a month to download this file, and it allows us to be quickly mobile again when things come up, when employees go rogue. So while you're doing that, we also do quarterly file system cleanups. So we delete old files, we delete duplicate folders. We are constantly making sure that our naming conventions are correct. So we start with our chart of accounts, the way we group certain expenses into certain folders, into certain line items in our accounting statements and what have you. We just like to keep things nice and tight so we know where everything is and we don't have to muck around trying to find what file goes to where. But I wouldn't overcomplicate things as well. Don't get overly obsessive about being completely OCD on the way file formats are structured and what have you. Just keep it simple and just keep it nice and clean. Okay. So I've seen going over the top becomes a redundancy activity. Just stay focused, keep things clean, keep things organized. Another item to keep operations running smoothly is to formalize stand-ups. So I have a food trading business. I literally only work about 2 hours a month. I come into the office during my monthly stand-ups. I start with a little chit chat. Hey, how's it going? How's your dog? How's your child, your newborn, etc. I do a little chit chat around the room, giving high fives to everyone. And then once everything settles and I've got everyone's attention, I start with an introduction. Hi everyone, thanks so much for being here. What I'm really proud of is X, Y, and Z because again, I have all these dashboards. I'm aware of where the company's going and the kind of company history before the meeting. And I give a little intro, a little up to date of where I'm at, where the company's at, and where we need to go. Then once I'm done with the intro, I literally look at all the department heads and I go, okay, marketing, go. And they already know what the format is. They announce to the room the things that are going well and the things that are not going well, and we deal with it right there, like literally right there. So my job, the art of it is to try and massage out what's wrong. So if I say, hey, marketing, what's happening? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we've been posting consistently and we've got the ads running. The design and the copy was great. And da, 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 da. My job is to massage it out. Well, okay, tell me a little bit more. And you'd be surprised when everything's all good, you can still find little areas of improvement. And once you land on a key point of where there needs to be improvement, you tackle the issue right then and there. If you can't tackle the issue right then and there, you'll end the meeting with, all right, we're going to come back to that point. So that's what I do. And I go through all the department heads until everyone's satisfied, until everyone basically doesn't have any additional items they want to talk about. And then I end the meeting and I do that every month and business runs well. Don't need to get overly fancy. You don't need to have meeting scorecards and what have you like that. That's great. It's really great if you're a really organized person. But if you're my ICP, if you're my founder and you just want to go, 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 you're not going to deal with this stuff. This is the quick, easy fix on how to make businesses run smoothly and just get to the effing point and make sure that everything is aligned. So these stand-ups, all these problems that we go through at the department level should align and should crystallize with the goals and the objectives of the company on an annual basis. You have the strategic goal of the overarching company set out already, and all the problem solving that you do at those stand-ups should be connected to your goals. If it isn't, that's a problem. That's a leadership problem. You need to get clear on what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? Make sure that whatever problem each department is facing, it should align to the strategic goals of the company set by you. So for me, when I run these stand-ups, anyone can attend. I keep it really open. I invite every single employee, even my cleaner. Sometimes they come, they get a free lunch, and you could talk about anything. There are certain points like financial talking points, whether somebody should get a raise or if we're having an issue with a certain employee that I won't discuss so openly. I'll break them apart, talk to them at the individual level. But generally speaking, once when we're dealing with company level issues, I like to keep it quite open. Okay, if you're not going to implement anything I mentioned in this video, then you will be experiencing dysfunction. I guarantee it. In the next video, I talk about how founders constantly tolerate dysfunction. So if you've been tolerating dysfunction, watch the next video.